Hi guys, so it is Thursday, October 7th. It is about 10 to noon right now, and I thought I would do a weekend kind of reading vlog of sorts. I am actually going to be busy most of the day Friday because one of my best friends is coming back from California to come visit me, and so we're going to be spending most of the day together. But I thought I would do this reading vlog because I do want to talk to you guys about how things have been going. I know I've been gone for a little while, mostly because of the fact that, as I had shown you in a short video I had done a few days ago, I moved. Robert and I moved to a new house about 40 minutes from my parents. Basically where we are is about 5 minutes from Robert's work, which is really nice. And because I still work from home currently, it is very easy for me to just be able to pick up and move wherever I need to. Because tomorrow is going to be a week since we moved into this house. It's been very crazy with trying to unpack and everything, and we still have quite a bit of stuff that's not fully unpacked. Actually, one of the things I'm going to be showing you guys over the course of this weekend is the construction of my library, which is upstairs. And I haven't got through a little bit of it. I actually got through about half of the boxes already of the books I currently have, things like that, and some decorations. So I'll be going up there and showing you guys kind of what we have so far. And I'm gonna be working on most of it, I think, today, because I was going to have my friend who's coming over tomorrow help me with it, but I would really rather not have her do that because I just want to spend time with her. I'm gonna show you guys though my office real quick, because this is basically where I'll probably be coming to you guys a lot. As you can see behind me, this large cage is the cage we have for our rats. If you guys did not know, Robert and I have had 2 female rats for the last year and a half, I think, something like that. So here we have my desk and everything for work. So this is not 100% finalized because this monitor right here is basically going to get linked up to my laptop. So essentially what's going to happen is we're eventually going to make it so that like I can have these 2 monitors for work. And then this one is mostly hooked up to our PC down here that basically I use to watch YouTube videos, stuff like that. And then I have my normal laptop, which is actually going to be probably going upstairs in my library because I would like to separate my office from like my fun stuff, which is my videos. So like that's where the library is. Then I have this other desk here that has, you know, just a bunch of other office stuff. Honestly, like I said, we're still in the process of unpacking everything and figuring out where some stuff's going to go. So some things might actually stay in here, some things might go upstairs, but this desk basically is just kind of holding on to our modem that we have and, you know, other things. So this room is not 100% finalized. I've got monitor boxes there, thing of tissues. This box here holds all of the shoes I did not already have because I had to put a lot of them in storage. So there's that. And then we have our closet, which mostly houses like my work clothes, stuff like that. And then there's the babies. So anyway, we're gonna go upstairs now to basically show you guys what we have for the library so far. So if we come up the stairs, it's a bit of a narrow staircase. First, what we have on the right-hand side is basically Robert's little area, which I'm not gonna really show you because it's his, but basically the library, we have like my tarot and stuff, and then a closet that holds most of our stuff. But this is basically what the library looks like as of now. Thankfully, I was able to get all of my shelves up here. I have 2 6-cube shelves on both sides, and then the middle 3 are 9-cube shelves. And then I still have, like I said, a lot of stuff that I have to unpack. I have my altar over here, which I'm not going to show you right now. That's for another time if you guys are interested in it, but I do have a altar space set up for my practice, which if you don't know, I am a practicing witch. Fairly new at it. It's not something that I decided on lightly, but basically what I have so far is, like, you can see some of the decorations. I have my September books that I've read right here so that I can remember to film my September wrap up soon. For the most part, I have a good section of my books already put out, and I have all of these boxes still to go through that are basically books. I have quite a few that are also Robert's that I'm going to find a space for because I'm fairly certain there will be more than enough space for that. And this furry thing is actually my shawl from my wedding. I don't know why it is here. I'm going to put that over by the closet because I'm going to make sure to hang that up later. But yeah, so Robert's got some books that he wanted me to put on the shelf somewhere because he doesn't necessarily have a bookshelf, and it's just something that makes more sense to put in a library kind of a thing. But yes, I do have some Harry Potter stuff, which I know for many of you is something that's a little bit touchy, but these are posters I've had for a long time before I found out about J.K. Rowling and all of her nastiness. And they mean a lot to me because, I mean, I have a collector box of sorts of the books, which I keep separated from the rest of my books because it just fits all nicely in there. But you will be seeing these in the future. I'm not going to hide it. I am a fan of Harry Potter. I have a tattoo that is Harry Potter related. I do want to make it known that basically I do not support J.K. Rowling anymore. Like I said, anything I have of Harry Potter is stuff that basically I had collected before finding out about her transphobia and all these things. So I want to make it very clear that I do not support any of her statements that are made about trans people. You may see them in some videos. More than likely what's going to happen is I'm not going to even be filming in front of the bookshelf fully. I may basically film like sitting down on the ground kind of a thing as opposed to like in a chair, just because this window that's right here could provide a lot of backlight that I don't necessarily want. So you may not be seeing the posters. I will try my best to keep them out of videos as much as I can, unless I am for some reason like this video currently where I'm going to be showing you guys my construction of my library. So I want to just make that clear that, you know, I truthfully understand the problems surrounding around Rowling. I do not purchase anymore anything, and have not for several years, any merchandise, including things in the Wizarding World franchise. I don't purchase anything like that myself. I have tried to get family and friends to understand to not buy those things if they would like to continue supporting trans voices, things of that nature. So anything that I do get in the future that is from the Wizarding World or is Harry Potter related, I will try to buy through small businesses, like people on Etsy. For instance, I have a friend, my friend Liv, who I've done Battle of the Bookish readathon, made me this book sleeve herself, this pattern she had obtained, but she did make me a book sleeve. So things like this from a small business I will purchase because the money is not going directly to J.K. Rowling herself. It will be going to the person that is making the items that are Harry Potter inspired. And that's why also I don't talk about it very often, because I know it's a very sore subject with a lot of people because of the author and her idiocy and all these things. And so that is why I don't typically talk about it very often, or I haven't in a very long time since finding out about her transphobia. So it's just something that I feel like is needing to be mentioned just to kind of set a baseline of sorts. So just so you guys are aware, that is kind of where I stand. But anyway, I do need to go make my lunch and everything, so I did want to show you a little bit of kind of how things are. Basically, like I said, we're going to be getting through the rest of the boxes of books probably after I finish work today, and figuring out where Robert's books are going to go in the midst of all of that. And I think tomorrow I'm just gonna spend most of the day with my friend. Hey guys, so it is now about an hour later. I did realize that I have a therapy appointment actually right after work today, so I'm not gonna get to doing my bookshelf organizing until closer to 5, which is fine. It's not a huge deal. Robert's working today, so I'm gonna probably have most of the evening to myself as it is. One thing I did want to mention too is I did put out my October TBR, stuff like that, but as you can, you know, probably imagine with the move, I'm very behind. I think what I'll work on next is my D20 TBR, because that is the most important part of this month, because, you know, that is always my TBR. That is like the requirements, like the required reading kind of thing. I only have 3 books for that though this month, which is Tell Me by Junji Ito and a couple of other things. I have to double check my bullet journal, but yeah, I only have 3 books on that TBR, so that's nice. And I do have a lot of graphic novels and manga that I'd like to read this month as well, so it's not that I can't read much else, it's just I think that, especially because I have Tomi and I'm just now seeing The Wheel of Time, which is basically New Spring, which isn't that long of a book, but, you know, is a high fantasy kind of story. It might take me a little bit to get through those. But then I also have like the last volume of Snot Girl, which that'll take me like super quick time to read. Like I think I chugged through the first 2 volumes of that series within 3 hours. So yeah, I think that Tomi might go a little quicker too, because it is a manga, but it's a big manga, like it's freaking huge. So I also have my Vampire Academy and Dark Tower read for this month. I have Frostbite by Rochelle Mead that I want to read for my Vampire Academy reread series, and I have the last book in the Dark Tower series, The Dark Tower. I can probably start The Dark Tower on audio though, which would be great. It's just, I don't think I'm in the right headspace currently to start that. I think that as long as I get my D20 TBR done before the month's over, which is fairly manageable, I should be fine, because the rest of the books I really wanted to read this month, other than my Vampire Academy and, you know, Dark Tower book, you know, kind of thing, the rest of it was kind of for fun and was just like, they were books I wanted to read specifically because they were spooky, like, or involved high fantasy or, you know, vampires, you know, something along those lines. Like it was either fantasy related or was very spooky filled kind of thing. So I am fine with just getting the D20 TBR done if that's all I can get done. And then hopefully I can still get my Vampire Academy read and my Stephen King read for the month done. But I think that if it comes to it, the rest of the books I had on that TBR video that I did before we moved are probably not gonna happen unless I can chug through like the graphic novels, for instance, that I had put on there, because there was quite a few. I would say probably half of the TBR I had set for October was graphic novels and manga. So likely what could happen is I could have like a whole weekend vlog of chugging through that, depending on when exactly I get my other books done, if that makes sense. So let me know if you would like to see one of those though, because if I can manage it, I may try to do that, because for one, I have the other 8 volumes of Bleach that I would like to get through, because I have 9 of the volumes and I've already read the first one in August. So what I would like is to finish that manga series, or at least what I have of it, and then, you know, that could be like part of a weekend reading vlog or be a vlog by itself, that kind of a thing. So let me know what you guys would like to see in terms of that, because I definitely think I could manage something like that in the next coming week. I think I may even start changing the way I do my reread series and my Stephen King reading series, where I can get through more books in a month, because the whole idea of 1 book a month was really cool to start off with and making it a little less hectic. But in reality, like, that is going to take forever, truthfully. So I think it might be a better deal for me to try to read like as much of each series as I can, or like, you know, read as much of the Vampire Academy series as I can, and like basically alternate it in a sense, or at the very least have my Stephen King books, which I prefer a lot of times on audio, to be my audiobooks, and then the Vampire Academy ones I read physically because I have the physical books and would like to use that. So I don't know, we'll see. And I do want to get through like the Wheel of Time series too, so like there's a whole list of things I'd like to get to. Starting next month, I read more than 1 of my Stephen King books in a month, and then read more than 1 of my reread series books, just to make those things go a little bit quicker, because I'm getting kind of tired of the 1 book a month thing. And if I continue that path, it is going to take me literal years to get through the ones I want to specifically reread, and literal years to get through the entirety of Stephen King's catalog. I'm already almost 2 years in on that reading process, and it's getting a little stale now, almost 2 years in doing only 1 book a month. So so it's time to get started with this. So I think one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to go find the legs for this IKEA table I have over here, because I would like to get that set up to kind of get an idea of the spacing of everything with like my other bags and my altar and stuff that I have currently sitting in front of me. So that way too, I can angle this camera a little bit better for you guys to see me unpacking everything. So I guess we're just going to get started with that. So let's get going. On second thought, we're not going to do that because I don't know where exactly he put them, and I don't remember exactly what are the legs for that. I guess we're going to do right about here would be good. So that'll work. have now reached the point where I have to start going on the second level of these shelves. And I still have 15 boxes to go through. And this is still moving books down from what I just added in the second box. So, holy hell, this is a lot of books. Here we go with box number 3. Okay, so I've gone through 4 boxes, I think, so far. I need a bit of a break. Robert's on his way home, and I need to start dinner because it's now almost 7 o'clock. So I'm going to go make some dinner, and I will probably get a few more boxes done tonight. I may try to get this done tonight because tomorrow I have the day off, so I can spend as much time after dinner up here as I want organizing all of this. Good morning, everybody. It is now 11 after 10 in the morning on Friday, and I have been finishing up my library before my friend gets here. So I have opened the last 2 boxes. My battery died while I was doing the organizing yesterday, so I got through a few more boxes. Currently what we have on the floor is the contents of the last 2 boxes worth of books. So basically what's really nice though is that these are all from letters of the alphabet. So we've started off with like K and then L, M, P, W, S over here, and then a W and then a Y. So I only have to really like reorganize the latter part of these shelves. I think what's going to end up happening is at least these bottom 2 ones are going to get taken up, and then the other 9 cubes, I think that is, basically are going to be used to store Robert's books, some of our games, stuff like that, other decorative things that I don't know what to do with. And then I'll show you guys like the final product. And I do have other books here, like I said, that are for my wrap up. So once I get those done, I'm going to obviously put them in where they're supposed to be, but for right now they're staying there because I still have to film that video, which I should be able to film once this whole room is taken care of, because after that I still have to go through a bunch of other stuff. Like I've got to put my Harry Potter books on there. I've got a bunch of witchy books, like research books that I have to figure out what to do with because I would like to keep them separate as well. So I think I may make a separate cube for those books. I've got like makeup palettes I gotta take downstairs, and there's other decorative implements I'm not quite sure what to do with. Some are gonna go in here, some are gonna go in my office. And then I gotta take care of the trash, and then those are all the things that Robert and I have together. Like that's a box of games, war games, D&D stuff, and then that stack is mostly his books. I think there's another couple right over there. So some of it I might stash in the closet for right now because I don't know what to do with it. Anyway, I'm gonna go finish up this, and you guys will see the final look of this bookshelf as I create it. So enjoy that. And when I get back, likely, which is because I would like her to not work with me on this, after I get back from hanging out with Teresa, I'm going to show you guys how the decorative part looks because, like I said, everything's kind of everywhere, so I don't know what to do with some of it, but we'll figure it out, I guess. And there we have all of my books finally put on the shelves. Thank God, that took forever. So that shelf is obviously going to stay as it is. I think the next shelf is going to be where I'm going to put my witchy books, and then from the rest here on will be a mix of Robert's stuff and our game. I've got a few minutes before Teresa's going to get here, so that's perfectly fine. I think I may hold off on doing that and the decorative stuff until I get back. So I'm going to do that all off camera, and when I get back I will show you guys how more of a finalized look of this room. Hopefully by then too I'll have the floor picked up and stuff like that, and all of the bags and things that don't need to be up here. My husband actually got my rocking chair up here. There is a footstool that's supposed to go with this, but this is not exactly the placement I want it. I think I kind of want it more in the corner, honestly, but this rocking chair actually is my great-grandmother's, who passed a few years ago. This was her rocking chair that my parents had taken when they were going through the stuff in her estate, basically. So this will be kind of like my little reading chair, and like I said, the footstool is downstairs, but it'll go with this, and I'm really excited because I would like to have a nice reading chair of sorts, and it's very comfortable. I think over here in this area is where that table's going to go. Robert does have to help me find the legs, which he said he would do sometime today because he has today off. And I think the library cart is going to go somewhere along that corner. Like, it's just going to be housed right there, and I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to put in it. I might put my extra decorations in there because it was going to be like my TBR cart, but I don't really know if that's what's going to happen. Okay, so last night I finally ended up finishing up the library. I got decorations figured out and added in everything that was Robert's and my witch books and everything. It's not 100% done yet because the table here, I still haven't figured out where the legs are for this. I know they're in the garage somewhere. I just don't know what ones they are because we have a dining table in the garage and then we have this. But this is mostly complete. I do need to go downstairs and grab the footstool for my rocking chair, but I'm going to do that a little bit later because there's currently stuff still on top of it. So, and please excuse if I'm out of breath. I've been going up and down the stairs today. And this is basically, this area here, my friend Teresa basically had said it would be a really cool idea to make like a small vanity area where like I get like, you know, just a 3-level bookshelf, put all my makeup and stuff on that, and then that way I can do my makeup up here in my space and I don't have, you know, everything in the bathroom, which we don't even have enough space in our bathroom for all my makeup and stuff. So then I've got some craft stuff and Christmas stuff. That the craft stuff is going to go on my table when I get it all set up, and then I've got just Christmas stuff set out so that I can start preparing for Christmas stuff already, even though it's now a little bit more than a week into October, but, you know, can't start too early, you know? So anyway, that is basically this room now. I am going to be filming my September wrap-up here very shortly once I've made my cup of coffee and have settled down a little bit. It is very warm up here, so I think I'm going to open the windows too and try to create a breeze of some kind, but we'll see. But yeah, we've even got some games down here, like board games that I was able to fit, and then our D&D stuff. And then we have the games that would not fit because they're a little bit too large sitting right here. And then I have a box back here for like extra decorations I didn't necessarily want or don't really think have a place here anymore. So also, I know this kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. Why is there a Happy Meal box sitting on here? It was a very special collector thing that my husband got last year. It's Pokemon based, so it's just like a special Pikachu box that he was like, oh, you should have that because you love Pikachu. So there's that. So if you're ever wondering why there's a Happy Meal box sitting on my bookshelf, that is why. So, and then I've got all kinds of other collectibles. See, you can even see there's this one here. I think one of them was supposed to be Robert's, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't remember which one. But there's 2 of them. I just realized there's 2 of them, so I might move that one into the box. I think we're going to do that because it's kind of hidden anyway. So we're going to throw him in there. But other than that, that's basically the whole thing. So I've also got a little Nightmare Before Christmas wax warmer here that my mom got me for, I think, Christmas last year, which I love. This scent is amazing. It's Jack's Obsession. It basically smells like apple, like green apple almost. So really, really love this. I think this is Scentsy. Yeah, this is Scentsy. So if you're interested, I think the wax warmer is also from Scentsy. So if you're interested in it, it's very, very cute. I love it very much. Hey guys, so it is Sunday afternoon. I think it's sometime after 1, maybe close to 2 o'clock. But anyway, I came on because I specifically wanted to talk about something that just I've been watching. So I've been watching Shane Dawson's new video. I haven't been subscribed to him really since he got canceled about almost 2 years ago, which is, first of all, really strange that it's been nearly 2 years. I thought that his cancellation happened last year. I could have sworn that was the case. Maybe it's possible that it was during 2020, like March or something. But I saw that he posted a new video on Twitter, and I decided to check it out because I wanted to see if he was going to talk about anything about what happened and where he's kind of been and what he's been doing. And it's supposed to be part of a series where he's talking about doing a lot of like ghost hunting stuff that he was starting to do before he got canceled, but now in his new place in Colorado. So the thing is, though, is I just watched him sit for about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes of this video, basically, maybe a little bit more than that, pretty much almost half this video, and talk about exactly kind of what was going on, things that happened immediately after he was canceled and all these things. To give you guys a little bit of context, I knew about Shane when I first was watching videos on YouTube back in like the mid 2000s, basically. I remember when he posted a lot of his videos that people were canceling him over with like his characters like Shanae and all these other characters and all the jokes that he basically had made that a lot of people found offensive, because back in that time they weren't things that were super offensive, but when people started digging back through a lot of his old videos and the fact that he never seemed to apologize effectively for a lot of people, I think more of why he was canceled was a lot of his behavior surrounding around those old videos, the way he would respond to those things. And on top of that, I think also a lot of his associations with people just did not necessarily look like he had changed much since those old videos. Like, essentially what I feel like must have happened, because I haven't really seen him at first now, like, at least in this video, talk about, like, his association with Jeffree Star and all the crap that surrounded around that, and when he came out with the makeup palette and all these things, like, even kind of following the cancellation, I didn't hear much about in terms of, like, whether they're still friends or whatever, and I feel like a lot of people, when he started doing the videos with Jeffree, were really pissed at him because Shane had, obviously, like I said, made videos apologizing for, you know, the things that he had done in the past, but some of his actions and the people he associated with seemed to kind of tell a different story, if you will. Now, the thing is for me, I just kind of got annoyed with all of it. I kind of was siding with a lot of people that were canceling him, saying that it didn't seem like he changed much, and at this time, too, I had been a fan of Jeffree Star, but also had seen the progression of his career and saw that there were things that, you know, looked like they had changed, but in reality, they really hadn't, and so I unfollowed, like, Jeffree Star, and around the same time I unfollowed Shane, because it, to me, along with everybody else, it seemed like the actions of the person were not lining up with what they were saying. My point being, the reason I watched this was because I really wanted to see, after the last year and a half, almost 2 years, what's been going on with him, what has been happening, and does he have any remorse for what, you know, the fact that, you know, he was canceled. And as much as I don't think that he really is remorseful as necessarily, if anything, he's grateful he got canceled because it gave him an opportunity, he said, to really focus on his priorities and stuff like that. And the fact that he does still, in the beginning of his video, make a lot of jokes about, you know, wanting to kill himself, which is very much what he used to do. I do appreciate the fact that he does want to address some of the things that he's done, and the things that, you know, he specifically talked about were more so of, like, the way that it affected him, and how he, you know, through his therapy and, you know, moving to Colorado, he learned a lot about himself and about his relationships. What I will say, though, that I feel like is disappointing to me, and is pretty much the reason why I don't think I'm going to resubscribe to him, is, for one, he posted this video, which is supposed to be a completely different thing, and just threw in at the beginning this whole thing about talking about where he's been, which, mind you, you know, fine, whatever, it is his first video coming back, there's going to be a lot of questions, but I would have preferred for him to make a separate video that would have talked about, you know, where he's been, what he's been doing, things of that nature. Now, on top of that, he doesn't really necessarily apologize for anything specific. He does talk about how he feels like he's not the same person he was when he was in his early to mid-20s, where he was making a lot of the racist, you know, stereotypical jokes, things of that nature that he was making back then, but he doesn't necessarily completely, like, apologize for it. He more so says that, you know, he's not the same person he was, which, again, like I said before, you can say something, but if your actions tell a different story, I don't trust you, kind of thing. So I'm a little on the fence as to whether or not I would be really interested in watching Shane again. I do believe that people are able to change and are able to grow, you know, especially when they've taken things away, like they've gone away for a while and have decided to work on themselves. But in the context of this singular video, I do not know whether or not to believe that Shane has fully changed to where I would be comfortable watching more of his content, because, again, I feel like the actions have to line up with the words, and at this moment in time, I just don't know whether or not that is going to be the case. Now, it is entirely possible that my mind will change on that. I just wanted to put my 2 cents out there, just because I know a lot of people are excited that he came out with a new video. Obviously, I am happy that, you know, Shane seems to be in a better place. I am very happy to see that, you know, he seems to be doing fairly well, despite the cancellation, that he's healthy, that, you know, because I never wanted to, you know, wish death upon anybody in regards to this. I don't ever wish death upon anyone, because it is not something that is in my nature. It is not something that I find comfort in doing. So I am happy to see that, you know, he's living the life he wants. I'm happy to see that, you know, he is doing the best he possibly can under the circumstances. And I just really hope that in the future he takes more account into what he says and how he does things, things and is more aware of his actions and how that reflects not only on him, but on how that reflects on his viewers, because it is very much the case where if you portray something into the world, especially through things like social media, there is therefore a likelihood that somebody is going to think that that is okay, and then it perpetuates a negative cycle of sorts. So I hope that through what he has learned in the last year and a half since his cancellation, that he has really learned that and understood that he has some kind of influence on people, and that he will try more to be aware of how he does things and what he says, because I hope that he knows that that influence will carry over. Today I also really wanted to finally start something because I've been in such a slump for the last, couple of weeks because of the fact that we moved and everything, and it took me so long to get my books and stuff up that I did want to finally start something today and hopefully get through it. First book I decided to pick up was one of my D20 reads for this month, which is Tomi by Junji Ito. I haven't started it as of yet, but this will be my first Junji Ito, and I have my bookmark basically placed for where I'd like to get to, like what's my goal for today. I think I could possibly surpass that because this is basically just a manga, but yeah, this is my first Junji Ito. I have heard very good things about his work. It's just that he's very gory and it's very much a horror, author. So I'm curious to see what this is about. I don't know anything, but Tomi Kawakami is a femme fatale with long black hair and a beauty mark just under her left eye. She can seduce nearly any man and drive them to murder as well, even though the victim is often Tomi herself. While one lover seeks to keep her for himself, another grows terrified of the immortal succubus. But soon they realize that no matter how many times they kill her, the world will never be free of Tomi. So that's kind of interesting. And I know that Junji really does a lot with supernatural and paranormal things, but I'm curious to see how I like this because, again, I've never read his work, and I've also heard that it's very adult in general. But I like the art style, especially like the end pages here. I really like the colorization that is going on. I'm curious just to see whether or not Tomi is somebody I'm gonna like, because I do like a morally gray character. I do like people who are kind of underestimated in terms of their gender or sex. I don't really know what to think about this. I'm curious to see what I like about it because like I said, heard Junji Ito is a wonderful author and that people really like his work. And I have another book by him that's called Smashed, and it's like 13 short stories basically in one book. So if I like this and I liked Smash, I might try to get more of his work, but I also thought that this was perfect for the spooky season because horror, paranormal, supernatural, all right up my alley, and all perfect for the month of October. So again, I do have it marked here where I would like to be, but because this is basically just a giant manga, I could read more of this, because honestly, I don't really have a lot to do today, and Robert is supposed to work fairly late today, according to what he told me earlier. Honestly, I got through all of my stuff on my to-do list today already before it was even like 12:30, so. Good morning, well, actually almost afternoon to everybody. It is Monday. I forgot to close out this vlog, so I'm gonna sit here as I put the dishes away that I had going and reloading my dishwasher and also making my lunch because I'm on my lunch break right now. So last night I ended up reading a ton of Tomi by Junji Ito. Oh my god, I read almost 500 pages. I got super sucked into that book. Basically what I can say about it is, like, the synopsis that I shared with you guys beforehand is pretty similar to what the story is really about. It was a little confusing for a while because honestly, just the way that the story is constructed is a little bizarre because each of the chapters of the story doesn't 100% answer a lot of questions in terms of what's happened. So basically what we learn, though, really quickly is that Tomi is kind of like a demon of sorts. She's mentioned as a succubus in the synopsis, but it's a little bit more than that. There's a lot more going on with her. So the first chapter basically starts off where Tomi is already dead and her classmates are at her funeral. Nobody really knows exactly what happened to her. They just know that there was some kind of possible freak accident. They don't know though if it could have been a murder or whatever it is. But the next day, she shows up to school, and so everyone is massively confused. And then there's like a bunch of other stuff that happens, and basically what happens is then there's a flashback, I think, of sorts, where the entire class with their teacher goes to this field trip out in the mountains, and basically you find out that Tomi was having some kind of a relationship with their teacher, and one of the classmates of hers that she was really good friends with became really obsessive, and basically she falls off the mountain and dies, and then the teacher's like, we need to chop her up into all these pieces and scatter them around. And like, that never gets really mentioned further on in the book. It's just kind of like, there's literal episodes of things that Tomi does and goes through that kind of start to flow with each other as you go forward, and some characters from the past come back and sometimes they don't, but like, it's really confusing in terms of like, who the hell is Tomi, because every time somebody kills her, she basically regenerates and reforms, and if her blood is spilled in places, like copies of her keep popping up. Like, she's basically constantly going through mitosis, which is the weirdest thing of all when it comes to this book. But at the same time, it's really freaking cool because you really don't know whether or not it's possible for her to ever truly die. And that's kind of like what the synopsis talks about, is that the world will never be really rid of Tomi ever. So with that being said, I really like it, but again, it's definitely just a very confusing story. You don't really know what the hell's happening, nor do you really understand anything about who Tomi is. There's like possible inklings that come in here and there about, you know, where she might have come from, who she might have been from. There's like a whole chapter that is like possibly a father figure that may have had some kind of experimentation on the character, but I don't know, like, there's so much I don't understand, but I'm actually fairly okay with that, which is bizarre, because a lot of times I hate when books like this have no clear explanation, but I'm just eating through this book so crazily fast that it almost doesn't matter if I don't get it. Like, I think that's kind of the point, is you're not supposed to fully get what is happening or who Tomi is or what's going on. Like, it's basically supposed to be almost in a sense like, I don't want to say absurdist or Kafka-esque, because it's not quite that level of crazy, but it is very much crazy in the sense that, like, you have no idea where the story is going to go, so everything is a surprise. Everything is topsy-turvy, backwards, and you know, you really never know what you're gonna get into when it comes to this story. So that is basically where I'm at. Like I said, I'm not quite to 500 pages. I think I'm on page like 493, and it's like the beginning of another chapter, so I should be able to get that done today. Now that I'm kind of in a really interesting space of my life with living in this house, things just seem to be going really well. And on top of that, I actually got some really interesting news today in terms of my work. It turns out that one of my coworkers, who's basically my team lead, is going to be leaving. Her last day is the 22nd, and we've already got scheduled for today a meeting to have myself and my other coworker who works on my team to go over some aspects of her job that neither of us have really done with before. So does that mean I get a promotion here in the next like couple weeks because of the fact that I'm the basic backup of her? It's entirely possible, which is amazing. I'm actually kind of excited for that because I've been trying to basically get some kind of a promotion here for the last probably 6 months or so. I was hoping it was going to be something a little bit different than what this is, but in all honesty, I'm a little bit more jazzed about this possibility of a promotion of some kind than what I was thinking of, just because I like my job a lot. I had different expectations going into my job than I think I had originally come in with, like as that time had gone on. So I'm just, I don't know, I'm just in a really good place. I feel like this move just kind of started a train of good things to come, and I can't wait to see how the next handful of weeks basically goes, because like I said, she's going to be done on the 22nd. And at this point, we don't really 100% know what to expect in terms of like what my job's going to be, what my coworkers' job's going to be, if we're going to get another person on our team, because we work better as a team of 3 than a team of 2. So I'm very curious to see how the next couple of weeks is going to go. But I feel very blessed that honestly this past couple of weeks with the move and now this possibility of a promotion is on the horizon. I just feel very blessed with how fortunate my luck has come over the last couple of weeks, just because I did not think that things were going to go this well. And I got really scared for a minute because shortly after moving, I was very mentally drained, and I think that was just because with the move it was very stressful and it took a lot out of me. But I feel very much more stable than I was after we moved. So I think that right now it's just basically onward and upward from here. Let me know how your guys' October has gone. How have things been going in terms of your reading? Are you reading your spooky books? Are you having a good time? Have you gone and done some fall activities? If you guys would like to see more of these kind of less reading style, but more kind of just life updates, things like that, you know, vlogs, you know, just kind of day in my life or week in my life kind of things, let me know down in the comments below. I mean, honestly, my week to week thing is I work 5 days a week, and then the weekends I'm doing a bunch of shit that is stuff I don't normally do during the week. So going out with friends, you know, stuff like that, or honestly cleaning the house, because by the time I get done with work, I don't want to do shit when it comes to cleaning my house. But now I'm getting to the point where I'm gonna have to, because it's starting to get a little messy and I don't like mess. If you guys did enjoy this video, please do give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you'd like to be, hit the button down below and subscribe to become an owlet in our flock. And I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye guys.